We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, Big Blacklights, we take a look at this.
And what this is from Puckerbutt, it is the Payton's Hot Strawberry Hot Sauce, where they give it 3 peppers. And they call it hot, and that is not something to which I will be agreeing at all. So you can see it's a very, very, very runny sauce. We have vinegar, strawberries, peppers. So I don't like this thing that's going on the labels, and it's not just them. I see it from a few other companies as well, where it's just a vague peppers. They are good about answering emails though. So if you email Puckerbutt like I do and you say, hey, what peppers are they? You will get some feedback. In their case, the suspicion was that it was cayenne and jalapeno. And I thought probably it was definitely like a jalapeno, maybe a Fresno. One of the lower level heat peppers that are more of a flavor pepper. Cayenne you could also use where it's not going to intrude probably hardly at all on the flavor of this. The idea being to celebrate freshly picked strawberries. Strawberries, though, are a fairly subtly flavored fruit. Even when they're in season, they're not. They're really good, of course, but they're not a very strong, forceful, lasting, like not on the level of like an orange, right? Orange tends to be very, very forward as far as flavoring goes, just by way of example. So most of the time when we see strawberry sauces, we see something closer to like a syrup, like an ice cream syrup or preserves or something like that, just so you can amplify that sort of strawberry flavor. Here, very bravely, they do not do that. And so this strikes me almost as something closer to a vinaigrette, like a salad dressing, in terms of looseness than a hot sauce. And the pineapple ginger that I did from Puckerbutt also was much like that. It was very, very watery. Probably would work really well in drinks. This one, it's hard for me to say that though because it is so very like vinegar. The first ingredient, there's no mistaking that. You do get a really nice dose of the strawberry zone, and they actually, to me, did a pretty amazing job of capturing the flavor of fresh strawberries. And you can see there it is. As a sauce, I don't find this super appealing, and I have tried it on a number of other things. I've only used this like once or twice since I opened it. You generally need to use quite a bit of it in whatever you're trying to do, but to me it didn't work on ice cream or apple pie, some of the different things I've used with other strawberry sauces. So we're going to do something a little different, and I'll show you that coming up. But first, we might as well just taste this baddie all by itself. Let's get into it. Right away, that nice fresh strawberry taste. Very moderate heat. Definitely not a 3. I honestly am even kind of struggling to call this a 1, if I'm being honest here. It really does feel a lot like a strawberry vinaigrette, to be frank. Maybe a bit spicier than those would come, but not greatly. The strawberry also feels just a touch watery. And I'm a little surprised that there's not a sliver of salt or two in here, but it's really, really, really interesting. It almost, so sometimes if you cut strawberries into like a weak lemonade or a water or something like that, you can get that sort of effect out of it. And that actually is kind of what this reminds me of. I do like this sauce, but I really am not, I'm not 100% sure what they're going for here with this, what Smokin' Ed was trying to do with this. If it was just to capture the flavor of the fresh strawberries, I think it does that. I just don't think it functions super well as a sauce because it is so loose, it has a hard time sticking to stuff. So what I've decided for today is I thought I would do this. We recreate the Wendy's summer strawberry salad, and this doesn't usually come out closer to summer. We're now nowhere near summer as I film this, but I thought, you know, these aren't awful salads, and it'd be kind of fun to recreate it. So the ingredients we have here is strawberries, of course, grilled chicken, bacon, a Tuscan cheese mix, and a champagne vinaigrette, and there's also like candied nuts on there as well. I am going to modify this, I'll just tell you up front, but let's see how we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to start with the bowl. Okay, nice clear bowl. Actually, let's throw a little bit of white under it so you can see it, potentially see it better. Oh, it's on the back, is it? Okay. Okay, so here's our bowl. Next, we will go with our lettuce mix. So I'm not going to go with their, I think they said they use a spring mix. I'm just going to use romaine hearts. Okay, that's probably plenty. Whatever. So lettuce, right? Okay, and so the nuts, I've got these, which are honey roasted sliced almonds. I happen to have some shaved Parmesan left. Oh, no, I don't. That's moldy. All right, we'll be foregoing the cheese in this video. Next, it's okay. The cheese, they put such little bits on there, it doesn't really matter. So here we have, of course, freshly sliced strawberries, bacon, and this is appeared on the channel a time or two before. This is basically a blackened chicken. So we're just going to throw all this on here. And of course the bacon. And the strawberries. Try to pretty it up a little bit here so I can show you guys. And there we have it. And we will throw on some of these almonds as well. These are just a honey roasted almond. That's probably funny. They don't tend to put a lot of those on salads. I mean, I think they might give you a packet of croutons or something too, but we're going to forego those. And of course, last but certainly not least, we are going to use this as an actual salad dressing. And hopefully we have enough. Oh boy, it really, really smells good. And I got enough stuff here to essentially have 2 salads, and then I'm going to be out of this. And I'll be honest, it's kind of an expensive way of buying salad dressing. But I thought it'd be really fun to do in the video, and I don't really do this a lot. I think we might slice in peppers into our salad here and there, but I don't think a lot of the time we're using an actual hot sauce on a salad. So here's a pro tip. Going with blackened chicken instead of grilled chicken is the move. Summer will certainly be a lot closer than it is now as I film this. By the time this gets posted. And you could either mix this in if you're making a strawberry vinaigrette, or just do what I'm doing now. And this is really one of the places where I think it's running is kind of doesn't work against it. So I've got generally pretty good coverage on the salad. It's working extremely well here. This is quite good. I do miss the cheese accent, just to be honest here. And there's a lesson for you if you're gonna shoot videos that have some amount of prep to them. I had this leftover Parmesan from when I did, there's actually quite a few videos that's shown up in. And I had a little bit left, and I thought, I can just use it up there, but yeah, nope. I didn't think it had been that long, but the shaved Parmesan, of course, has a lot more moisture than does the dried or shredded, so. It's really quite excellent. One of my challenges, while I'm doing a lot of this stuff is there's a lot of stuff, in the hot world, as it were, that's not particularly healthy. I can just look at a burger and, put on weight. Trying to get those worlds to mesh is always somewhat of a challenge. Especially because, salads are boring, right? Most of the time. This one's good enough. I'll have no trouble finishing off that bag of lettuce, but I can only have them maybe once or twice before I get tired of salads. So hopefully I'll be able to find a way to introduce some healthier stuff into the mix. I'm getting a little bit of a build out of this, surprisingly. Probably the blackened chicken's helping a little with that as well, but it's taking a little bit of doing, but we might just claw our way all the way up to a 1. Maybe. I think probably no, but I got the balance pretty well here with this salad. You got the ratio pretty well. I mean, it's probably healthier I don't have cheese. Really, the only thing that's kind of off here is maybe the bacon. Well, definitely the bacon, but it's one of the few salads that I don't also wish there was an egg. This is really, really good. Surprisingly. Well, I say surprisingly. I mean, the summer salad I've had before, I know that's good. But this is better than I was anticipating. Even with losing that little bit of cheese note, which I do miss. I was going to pick up some blue cheese or gorgonzola crumbles, but I wish I would have now. I think strawberry and gorgonzola pairs really well. Cheeky. Oh, well, you guys should probably see there's nothing in there. All right. Wow, that was surprisingly a lot more satisfying than I was expecting. I figured it would work pretty well though when I came up with the idea of what to do with this. It's just when sauces get this liquidy, it just becomes a bit of a challenge. I think you could probably put this in margarita mix, and that would be kind of interesting. I'm not sure the vinegar would work well though. Yeah, it just I really almost think that that they should backpedal from this and sell it as in larger bottles as a vinaigrette. I think that's really where this fits in probably best. I feel like you could do potentially a pretty interesting steak marinade with this, but it's just hard for me to say that it functions well as a sauce. I really don't think it does. Most of the time when we're using a sauce, we generally want to stay in place. We want to stick to whatever food we're putting it on. You know, otherwise this one you're borderline pouring something watery. Like if you had a burger, would you pour water on it? No. You know, that's ketchup and mustard have that sort of thickness to them, so they don't just go everywhere unless you over sauce them. And that's the problem here. I don't know how you get away from not over saucing something. And it's a little bit too vinegary to be a dessert sauce. And I have tried it in that setting. That wasn't one of the recommendations for it, but so I think this one is a really good product. I think it's just marketed wrong. You know, for me, I would, like I said, put this in larger bottles and sell it as a salad dressing. Seriously, like it is. We don't have enough hot salad dressings for one side. It's not super hot. Like I've been when I was writing the review, you can read the written review by following the link in the description below. When I was writing that, before that, all during the filming of this, I've been going back and forth between really where should the heat level be, and I can't really call it a 1. It's not hot enough to be a 1. There's something there, but it's more like half. On my scale, it's more like a half. But I don't, the only place I actually rate the heat is in the blog. I don't do half numbers at all. It's either close enough for me to round up or down, or it's not, And so this one, I think I gave it a 0, and just, I don't see where I can back off of that. It's not particularly hot. It is nice. I mean, it's a pleasant sort of a heat, but to me, I think you market this as a sort of a hot salad dressing, like a hot strawberry vinaigrette, and I think this would do extremely well. You'd have to tinker with the price point a little bit, probably. Let's just say I don't know what this actually goes for on the website, but let's just say a lot of hot sauces are not lower than $10, for instance, right? So 5-ounce bottle, $10, $2 an ounce. Well, when we use salad dressings, we tend to use a lot of it. So most of the time, you get a bottle of like cans or something like that. That's probably 10 to 12 ounces, and it's about $3. So I think if you did like a 10 ounce at like $5, I think you'd be probably fine. I don't know if that is a price point that would work for this, but if it did, I think this would probably do really, really, really well, especially because it'd be such a unique product. As it is, as a hot sauce, honestly, it kind of fails. It's not particularly hot. It's too runny to be flexible, other than in something like this, and it tastes fine, but the applications where you can use it, I think, are really, really, really limited. It's got to be something where you can, like this, right? So when I started, we were closer to the top of the label, right? You can see where it is now. And you can see there's no sauce left over in the bottom of this bowl. So arguably I used, maybe an ounce and a half, 2 ounces, somewhere in there. But it's got to be something like that where you have enough room to get it on a whole bunch of stuff. Because otherwise it just winds up on the plate. And I mean, I tried it on chicken strips. I tried it on almost everything I usually will put a sauce on. Other than like, cream-based sauce, this would not be good. So I obviously didn't do that. But, I try to find where the sauce is going to fit in the best, I guess. And for me, I just really think this has gone to market probably the wrong way. But definitely, if you like those kind of strawberry summer salads like this, it's hard for me to think of a better accompaniment than this. So in that particular application, like this is doing wonderfully. And like I said, I think you could probably use it pretty well on drinks as well. Stronger flavored drinks, just because of that vinegar component. But I mean, it'd probably be a lot of fun to play around with. This is, like, flavor-wise, I do like this quite a lot. So there's a huge disparity, like if you look at the written review where I do the scores, there's a huge disparity between the flavor of this and like stuff like flexibility and heat, just because those things are, for me, not particularly there with this sauce. But it has been a lot of fun, I will give it that. And, it's a very vibrant and sort of lighter sort of sauce. And I mean, I think there's value in that. I mean, I think there's a place for that. I just don't think that there's a lot of places for that. And we'll just leave it there. So there it is, the Puckerbutt Payton's Hot Strawberry Hot Sauce.
Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.